Hi 7th graders, I hope you've been doing well. Today we are going to continue our Unit 5. This lesson today is all about solving proportions. Our learning target is I can solve proportions by using cross products. So let's talk about what cross products are. In a proportion, cross products are equal. So what that means is if we have this example, x over 6 is equal to 5 over 2, we are going to cross multiply. So we're going to take x times 2, and that's going to be equal to 6 times 5. Alright, so that is how we set up cross products. Now we're going to work on solving this proportion so that we can figure out what x is. Okay, 2 times x is just 2x. 6 times 5 is 30. So now we're going back to our Unit 3 all about algebra. Right now we have 2 times x. We want this x by itself. So what is the opposite of multiplication? Right, it's division. So we are going to divide both sides by 2. Our 2's cancel out. We're left with just x on the left-hand side. 30 divided by 2 is 15. So our x is 15. And we can double check that. So right now it's 15 over 6, and that is equal to 5 over 2. So just to double check, 15 times 2 is 30. 6 times 5 is also 30. So these proportions are equivalent, or this proportion is equal. Okay, so what we're going to practice is we are going to practice using cross products to solve different proportions. So you can use a calculator for this lesson because some of the numbers that we multiply are going to be pretty big. So let's go ahead and get started. Number 1, we have 6 over 9 is equal to x over 12. So we need to cross multiply. So we're taking 6 times 12, and that is equal to 9 times x. Okay, 6 times 12 is 72, and that is equal to 9x. Okay, right now it is 9 times x. We want x by itself, so the opposite of multiplication is division. So we divide both sides by 9, and we get x on the left-hand side. 72 divided by 9 is 8. So x is equal to 8. And then, of course, you could double check. 6 over 9 equals 8 over 12. 6 times 12 is 72. 9 times 8 is also 72, so we are good. Okay, going on to our second one. This time we have 3/4 is equal to 51 over x. So again, we cross multiply. We're taking 3 times x is equal to 4 times 51. Alright, I'm getting my calculator up. 3 times x is just 3x. 4 times 51, that is 204. Alright, right now it's 3 times x. We want to do the opposite of multiplication, so we're going to divide both sides by 3. So our 3's cancel out. We're left with just x on the left-hand side. And then 204 divided by 3, I just typed it in on my calculator, and I got 68. And then, of course, you could double check. 3/4 is equal to 51 over 68. 3 times 68 is 204. And 4 times 51 is also 204. So we are good. Alright, and let's move on to our last one. X over 5 is equal to 82 over 205. Alright, so we cross multiply. X times 205 is equal to 5 times 82. Alright, so on the left, we're just left with 205 times x. 5 times 82 gives us 410. Okay, right now it's 205 times x, so we want to do the opposite of multiplying, which is dividing. And remember, we do it to both sides. So our 205's cancel out. We're left with x on the left-hand side. And our x is 2. And then just to double check, 2 over 5 is equal to 82 over 205. 2 times 205 is 410. 5 times 82 is also 410. So we are good. Alright, so that's just basic solving proportions. Okay, what I want us to practice now is writing and solving our own proportions. Okay, so we have 3 word problems to work on. Okay, 2 slices of Najma's famous pizza have 230 calories. How many calories would you expect to be in 5 slices of the same pizza? Alright, so there was a lot of important things in those 2 sentences. So our first one is 2 slices of Najma's famous pizza have 230 calories. Well, we are going to set up our proportions with slices being on the top and calories being on the bottom. So that first sentence, how many slices did they talk about? Right, they talked about 2. And how many calories did those 2 slices have? Right, 230. So 2 over 230 is our first ratio. Now if we look at our second question, or our second sentence, it says how many calories, do we know how many calories there's going to be? No, so that's going to be our x. How many calories would you expect to be in 5 slices of the same pizza? So our numerator is going to be 5. Now that we have our proportion set up, we can go ahead and solve this. Okay, let's just cross multiply like we were doing up above. 2 times x equals 230 times 5. Alright, 2 times x is just 2x. 230 times 5 gives us 1,150. Right now it's 2 times x, so we need to divide both sides by 2. Our 2's cancel, we're left with x on the left-hand side. When we take 1,150 divided by 2, we get 575. And what are we talking about? We're talking about 575 dogs, 575 cats. Right, we're talking about 575 calories. And that is our answer. Alright, so let's go on and do number 2. A helicopter used for firefighting travels 25 miles in 20 minutes. At this rate of speed, how long will it take the helicopter to reach a fire that is 60 miles away? Alright, so we are setting up our proportion as miles over minutes. So taking a look at that first sentence, a helicopter used for firefighting travels 25 miles in 20 minutes. Let's set up our ratio. We're going 25 miles in 20 minutes. Okay, and then it's saying at this rate of speed, how long will it take the helicopter to reach a fire that is 60 miles away? So we know we want to figure out 60 miles, but we don't know how long it's going to take, so our x goes on the bottom. Okay, let's go ahead and let's cross multiply. 25 times x is equal to 20 times 60. 25x is on the left-hand side. 20 times 60 gives us 1,200. And then right now it's 25 times x, so we need to divide both sides by 25. So our 25's cancel, we're left with just x on the left-hand side. 1,200 divided by 25 gives us 48. And what are we talking about? 48 miles, 48 minutes, 48 dogs, 48 minutes. Awesome. And our last problem. Eduardo is reading a 374-page novel for his English class. It takes him 6 days to read the first 132 pages. If he continues to read at the same rate, how many more days will it take him to finish the novel? So we're setting up our ratios as pages over days. Okay, so let's take a look at that first sentence. He's reading a 374-page novel. So that goes on the top. Do we know how long it's going to take him to read this book? No, we don't, so that's our x. Okay, and then it tells us it takes him 6 days to read the first 132 pages. Okay, so the 6 days goes on the bottom, and 132 pages goes on the top. You have to make sure you're being very consistent that pages is on the top for both of them, and days is on the bottom for both of them. I could set up my ratio the opposite way and go have pages be on the bottom and days be on the top, you'll get the exact same answer. But you want to make sure that pages is consistent either on the top or on the bottom. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's solve this. We are taking 374 times 6, and that's equal to x times 132. Alright, 374 times 6 gives us 2,244. And again, I'm using a calculator. You can use a calculator or you can multiply it out. It's totally up to you. And that is equal to 132 times x. Alright, and then right now it is multiplying by x. We need to divide 132 from both sides. So we get x on the left-hand side. And then 2,244 divided by 132 is 17. 17 what? 17 days. And that is our answer. Okay, if I did it this way, I would have gotten the exact same thing, because you're still taking x times 132, which is what we had, and you're still taking 6 times 374, which is the same thing. Okay, so it doesn't matter which way you set it up, if you have pages be on the top, days be on the bottom, or pages be on the bottom, days be on the top. But you need to make sure that you're consistent with pages being both on the top or being on the bottom. Same thing with number 2 and number 1. Alright, so that was our lesson for proportional relationships and how to solve them. Please let me know if you have questions. Otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your day.